Hurry, tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, check this out. All we have in here, we got that Brodo, which is a very light broth, but very flavorful. The beef broth and the vegetable broth mixed together, but very light. It's not reduced a whole lot yet.
Okay.
What we want to do is reduce that in the pan because we want our tomatoes to really soften up, absorb a lot of that flavor. We've got our garlic in there, our onions, so we're producing this nice garden-esque flavor, right? Really vegetable forward. And we want to just reduce that just a touch. But remember, this is a pasta in Brodo, so this is a pasta that's in a broth. So we want to make sure that we don't over-reduce this because we're not really trying to sauce this pasta. We do want it to have a broth consistency. So we'll keep it like that. And our pasta itself is actually almost done.
And so you were saying we're not going to add a whole lot of seasoning because between the Brodo and the salt from the pasta, and then we're adding some Parmesan, which is already salty.
Right. The salt content is already fairly high, so we're going to get a lot of those flavors to really kind of come out. The salt's going to accentuate a lot of those flavors.
Okay.
And like you said, we're going to add our Parmesan cheese, which is obviously pretty salty. Let's go ahead and just add that right in. That's going to start to thicken up pretty quick, so we got to hurry at this point, okay? So we throw that in. As that starts to thicken up, now we're going to add our pasta. Now this is very important. You want to go directly from this pan into your saute pan because it's going to have a lot of that water with it, right? So where the Parmesan kind of thickened it up a little bit,
we're about to water it down.
The liquid's kind of going to water it back down just a touch.
And I think this is a mistake that a lot of us rookies make. We'll go ahead and take that water and we'll dump it.
Nope, we're going to keep it.
We need to keep that.
Yep. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to toss this a couple times. Watch out for your suit, right?
Okay, yeah.
You hardly ever wear an apron, so we just want to toss this a few times.
I need to get on this, right?
That way we get all of that cheese into that pasta very nicely, right? The pasta now is starting to absorb, in the finishing stages of its cooking, starting to absorb that great Brodo. So we're going to let that kind of just do its thing for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to be ready to plate it.
Now, if you were doing any sides with this, or if you were pairing this maybe with the wine, what would you do?
This would have to be a lighter wine. So a lot of people are gonna try to pair things with red with beef, right? Because we're using a beef broth. This is a lot lighter because it's a vegetable forward. We're not actually using the meat itself. We've got a mixture of the beef broth with the vegetable broth. So I would go with a lighter wine here, maybe a full-bodied white, a Chardonnay, something like that.
All right.
And we're going to be good to go.
I love what you've done there.
So you remember we keep this pasta
water?
water?
Because we want to keep that for the consistency,
for the finishing aspect. Yeah.
Perfect, which we'll do in just a minute. So don't go anywhere. We've got more with Chef Rocky after this.